This is everything we know about GTA 6 since trailer 2. Every new detail we know from the trailer, from the screenshots, and even using the leaked document with over 60 pages of findings from the 2022 leaks. But we're going to cover gameplay features, mechanics, locations, interiors, mini-games, activities, and everything that's going to make GTA 6 awesome. So let's start off with Jason Duvall. Jason is now confirmed to be ex-military, and we can see a tattoo on his shoulder that would indicate that he may have been part of the paratroopers. He's notably attractive, often drawing attention from women in public. Now, Jason resides in the Keys, which we'll discuss in depth a little bit later on, and he's working for a local drug runner named Brian in the early chapters of the game. But it states on the official site it might be time to try something new, so this is likely the catalyst that gets him and Lucia considering some scores. It's unconfirmed how Jason meets Lucia. However, once she gets out of prison, she can be seen wearing her ankle monitor seen in the game's promotional material. She can also be seen engaging in work as part of community service. Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing that's ever happened to him. Jason is portrayed as an outdoorsman and practical handyman, evident from his rugged appearance and attire. He's seen wearing a marine conservation shirt, which is labeled sales and service, which may imply that that's a job that he used to have or has currently, as well as working alongside Brian. So let's talk about Lucia briefly. Her surname has now been confirmed as Caminos. She can be seen in fight clubs and seems to be the best of the two at hand-to-hand combat. It seems like she might be part of an underground fighting ring. She can be seen training at the local gym, and all of this is thanks to her father, as confirmed by Rockstar, who is the one who taught her how to fight. It says that fighting for her family is what landed her in the penitentiary, and that sheer luck got her out. We know that Lucia has a very close relationship with her mother, and that she was originally living in Liberty City. One clue about her past troubles is that she can be seen wearing a necklace around her neck that appears to be similar to one in which you may put ashes of a loved one. Is this because her father is dead? I guess we don't know, but we have caught a very brief glimpse of what her family might look like on the wall of her cell. Jason and Lucia reside together in a modest property located in the Leonida Keys. This residence is provided by Brian Hader, a seasoned drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. Brian continues his operations through his boatyard. He allows Jason to live rent-free in one of his properties, provided that Jason assists him with local shakedowns and collects payments from tenants in the area. But this boat warehouse and his tenancy allows him to then basically money launder. He launders his drug money through these fronts, and that's how he's able to stay under the radar and remain somewhat undetected with his businesses. Now, Brian might seem like a friendly character, and he seems to have an extremely close relationship with Jason based on their banter that we saw in the trailer. But that being said, in Rockstar's own words, he moves like a great white shark if necessary. So Brian can obviously be misunderstood, and he's definitely not someone to cross paths with. It sounds like in the early chapters of the game, we're going to be working for Brian quite a lot, and he's probably the guy who helps us figure out how to get our foot in the door in the drug underworld. The official GTA 6 website reveals that Jason and Lucia have always known the deck is stacked against them, and when a seemingly easy score goes wrong, they're thrusted into a dangerous conspiracy that spans the entire state of Leonida. Their bond becomes both their greatest strength and a potential vulnerability. The word conspiracy is used intentionally, I feel, and significant in this description. The trailers show us a glimpse of some law enforcement, which could indicate potential corruption in the storyline, but it's unconfirmed at this point in time. Obviously, Jason has a really close bond with this Brian character, so it sounds like perhaps the corrupt police officers or the law in Leonida may start to poke and prod at this, and it may come between them. Now, we're going to discuss the characters a little bit later on, because it mentions there that a score that goes wrong. But before that, I want to discuss the map and the locations that we can expect to see in the game. Then we're going to discuss some of the characters that are going to make this game really special. Stretching south of Vice City are the Leonida Keys, which is where Jason and Lucia will live in the early chapters of the game. Now, this is GTA 6's answer to the Florida Keys. Now, this is a tropical area of small islands linked by long causeways, which, much like real life, they have very long highways that stretch all the way out of Miami down to Key West. Now, life in the Leonida Keys isn't flashy, and it's more of an easy, laid-back place to reside. So think neon bars, tiki lights, and colourful characters. Now, I'm super excited to explore this place and see what kind of people we can encounter here. From the trailers so far, it looks like it's going to be a lot of crazy people, which is perfect for a GTA game. But as you can see by this mobility scooter screenshot, there is a diverse range of characters just from this screenshot alone, from this old lady on this mobility scooter to hippies and drunk tourists, and even this guy urinating in the background, all the way to this kid over here, or these kids climbing on this monument. So there's so much diversity going on here. Now, the surrounding seas are teeming with life. In fact, several species of shark actually inhabit these waters in real life, so we can expect to see those in GTA 6 as well. And in this screenshot, if you look closely, you can actually see a shark underneath this boat. So, little fun fact for you there. And I'm sure those NPCs have no idea of what's lurking beneath the waters there. But in the leaked files, we saw references to shark cage diving, which is definitely something that's probably going to be able to be done from the Keys, but we'll discuss that later when we touch on activities. Lots to come in this video, guys, so we've got to move on with explaining this location first of all. So, as seen in this screenshot, a seaplane flies over the Leonida Keys with Vice City way off in the distance. This is very, very impressive to see just how far the view distance is and draw distance. So you can get a scale or an idea, here of just how far away the Keys is going to be from Vice City. And in case you didn't know, just like in real life, a majority of this distance is going to be highway that's suspended over the ocean. So it's going to be a really cool place to drive, do street races and stuff like that. Visually and geographically, Leonida Keys it's got very shallow blue waters and coral reefs in real life, and we see islands dotted all over the place with small houses and marinas just like in real life. So that's basically what Leonida Keys is going to be like. Now, we also know that the Coast Guard is going to be very active in these areas, and we know that a friend of Jason's called Cal, who we're going to mention a bit later on in the video, will be monitoring this Coast Guard activity. And that's because the Leonida Keys, or the Florida Keys in real life, is a hotspot for drug trafficking. Now, that's exactly what Brian's business is in GTA 6. Anyway, thanks to the 2021 leaks, we also saw references to yard sales that take place in the Leonida Keys. So there's going to be a lot of interesting things that you can discover in these streets. So while Ocean Beach and Ocean Drive on the far eastern island offer classic postcard glamour, with stuff like hotels, rooftop pools, nightclubs, and influencers filming stuff in the streets, the city stretches far beyond just Ocean Beach. So in the beach area, particularly around Ocean Beach and South Beach, you're going to be able to find a vibrant, tourist-heavy district full of activities to do. And you can expect to see people sunbathing, working out on public gym equipment, posing for Snapmatic pictures, and even shooting social media content like this girl here with the tripod. Now, confirmed interiors in this area from the leaks and from the trailers include things like convenience stores, bars, gyms, restaurants, strip clubs, and even social media offices. So you're going to find a lot of returning locations as well, because in the game files, in the leaks, it was mentioned about Malibu Club and Leaf Links Golf Club, both of which appear in older GTA titles and are iconic in this area of the map. But like I said, Vice City isn't just about beaches, because in the downtown section, it's going to be totally different. A few key landmarks that we're aware of are places like the Jack of Hearts nightclub, which belongs or is run, shall we say, by a character called Booby, who I'm going to discuss a little bit later on. And in some of these small little snippets we got of screenshots, we can see things like giant cruise ships and an open marina. So the downtown is going to be really awesome to explore. And we know that places like the Bayfront Park Amateur Theatre and the Lone Depot Park, which is home of the Vice City Mambas, will also feature. Now, Vice City also has a huge port, which, with, like I said, the marina, industrial docks, and is full of shipping containers that we know we're going to be able to loot, which we will again discuss later when we discuss things like activities we can do and features that are present in the game.
subscribe to my channel.